So you're looking at possibly starting your own pest control business, and you may have just came across maybe pest control as a potential business idea. And that's what we're going to talk about today, why you should consider starting your pest control business in 2024 and beyond. And real quick, for those of you that are new to me and wondering who the heck is this guy, my name is Griffin Thomas, of course, and I actually own my own pest control company, Preferred Pest Management, in the Dallas, Texas area. We've been in business for just over 3 years now. I've been in the industry for well over half a decade to a decade at this point. And on this channel, I just document my overall entrepreneurial journey, not just the pest control business side of things, but business, marketing, investing, all of that good stuff. Again, just kind of documenting my journey. Wish that someone had done that where we could just follow them step by step. So that's what I'm doing here essentially. With that, we'll just kind of dive right into some of the things that you guys really need to know and probably want to know, which is why you're here, which is, what are the numbers behind the pest control industry? So I actually found this quick little study on LinkedIn of all places talking about the CAGR. If you don't know what that is, that's pretty much compounded annual growth rate for the pest control industry. They run this number on various industries, of course. It's a pretty standard business number that people like to look at when they're looking at getting into different industries. You can see here the pest control industry is actually projected to grow at an astonishing rate of over 12% over the next roughly 5 to 6 years, from over $4.5 billion in 2022 to over $9.2 billion by 2028. And then, of course, you can look at some of the quote-unquote key players of the industry. Of course, this is going to factor in companies like Basif, the ones that actually make the products. And then, of course, you're going to have some of the biggest corporations like Terminix and Rent-A-Kill and all those type of companies. Massey even has been climbing up the board big time recently. Just different competitors you're going to want to keep your eye on, of course, if you're looking at getting in this industry. And by the way, I'll link in the description box a link to all of these different forms that we're looking at today, different inquiries and all of that type of stuff, so you guys can check them out yourself as well. But to keep this video from being an hour long, we'll just hop right into another very common question in the pest control industry, which is, of course, how much money can a pest control company make? Now, this statistic comes from BryoStack, which is actually a pest control company that they're a software company for pest control businesses. They do marketing, they do scheduling software, CRM, all that good stuff. So they know a lot about our industry. They say with average expenses being around 45 to 50%, your average profit margin should be around 55%. Now, I will disagree with this slightly. I'm not taking jabs at their work or anything like that, but this is really going to vary, of course. How much money are you putting into your marketing? How much are you willing to pay your employees? The more that you're going to be putting into your business, of course, this number is going to drop. But I do agree, especially if you're going to be kind of a one-man show, you're just looking to kind of own your own business, your own job, as we like to say, then you can definitely achieve 50, 55. I've even seen a lot of upwards of like 60, 65% when you're keeping advertising costs and all that type of stuff to a minimum. But of course, if you're hyper aggressive trying to grow like we are, you're probably going to be about half of this, in all honesty. Maybe not quite half, but at least around like 30 to 45%. So a little bit less, but still, that's very good margins for, a growing business. And to give some of you guys an idea that are like, okay, but that doesn't really answer my question. I'm wondering how much can I make as a solo operator? All that you would do essentially, like we were talking about, if you're assuming a 50 to 60% profit margin, then what you're essentially saying is for every $100,000 that you're going to make, you're looking at roughly $50,000 to $60,000 of profit. Now, of course, you have to factor in things like taxes, insurance, accounting, all that type of stuff as well. I didn't dive too much into this article to see what they kind of factored in with that percentage, but I would say overall, just assume that you're going to take home about 50 to 60% if you're going to be a solo. And then, of course, that percentage is going to slowly drop, just naturally the bigger that your business gets. To kind of broadly answer that question even more, I know guys who are out here, solo operators who are doing, $200,000 to $300,000 per year on their own, and they're bringing home after taxes and everything. Of course, with taxes, that's going to vary state to state. Luckily, we're in Texas, no state income tax. You just pay your federal taxes. We do have to pay some sales tax. Of course, you just kind of factor that into the price and pass it on to your customer for the most part. But overall, from what I understand, most people that are making that $200,000 to $300,000 $200,000 level, they're definitely bringing home six figures. They're bringing home, if it's 300,000, they're bringing home close to like 170 roughly. And then if you're making like 200 or 250, then you're making around 100, 150 maybe at the most. Again, it all just varies based on the price that you're getting for your products, your chemicals, how much wear and tear do you have on your equipment? Are you using good equipment that doesn't need fixed and maintenance frequently? Same thing with vehicles. Like we said, there's a lot of variables, of course, in business. But overall, just like we said, if you're going to be a one-man show, just assume roughly 50%. And then from there, anything on top of that is just going to be icing on the cake for you. Last thing that you're definitely going to want to know before starting your pest control business in 2024 and beyond is how much is it actually going to cost to get up and get going. Now, this, of course, can vary widely based on, what equipment do you already have? Do you already have a truck in place? Do you already have some of these tools in place, like a battery-powered backpack or even an old-school pump spraying backpack? Maybe you already even have some chemical somehow, some way. What do you already have versus what are you going to have to go out and get? Like they mentioned here in this, again, another BryoStack post here. Shout out to them for having a lot of these answers just ready on the internet for you guys as well. It can be as low as, around $2,000 to as much. They say around $12,000 to $13,000. I would say, in all honesty, if you're trying to just blow up, like just hit the ground running, you could even be looking upwards of $50,000. Of course, there's no limit to how much you can spend getting started or anything. They're just kind of taking an average because, of course, they do detailed studies and all that stuff when it comes into this. I know from our experience when we started our pest control business, actually cashed out a 401k with just a few $1,000s in it. I did sell a car that I had that was worth somewhere around like $7,000 or $8,000. So we started our business all in all with right around $10,000 to $13,000. I covered, of course, everything from your business licensing, 1 year of insurance, because I like to pay for everything up front, just kind of out of sight, out of mind, versus having to pay for it every month and that take out of your cash flow. Plus you get discounts whenever you pay for the year up front as well. So yeah, like I said, that kind of pretty much covered everything, and it even paid for roughly our first 1 to 2 months of marketing. We were doing pay per lead instead of pay per click programs. Instead of using like Google ads, we did like one very short Google ad, but we switched over to Google Local Services where you just pay per actual lead, which kept our marketing costs fairly low. We were closing a lot of sales with that as well. So again, that I think at the bare minimum, they're pretty spot on. Around $2,000 is going to be the bare minimum you want to spend. And then, obviously, like we said, there's no max, but in terms of, a really good, nice foundation start, I would say you want ideally at least around $10,000. And of course, ideally you'd also have, at least 1 to 3 months, if not more, of savings just kind of set aside, especially if you're starting your business in the fall or winter months when it's slower season. But of course, to each their own. When it comes to actually starting the business, you're talking anywhere between, like they said, around $2,000 to $12,000 ultimately. And then, of course, just one last reason that I believe you all should start a pest control business in 2024 is the freedom of everything. The freedom, when I say freedom, I mean freeing up your time. And because when you first start a pest control business, you're going to have a lot of time on your hands to learn about the business. Like, it's one of those businesses that you don't necessarily have to be diving in 24/7. Now, if you're someone like me who just naturally enjoys business is more of a hobby for me than anything. Hence why I do things like YouTube and all this other stuff about business and investing on top of doing my business as a whole. Business is just kind of a fun thing to me. I'm just wired that way. Maybe I'm a nerd. I have no idea. I just know that, the beauty of the pest control industry, to relate back to all of that, is it gives you a lot of freedom in terms of freeing up your time. It's not something that you necessarily have to dive in 24/7. Now, obviously, the more money you put in, the quicker you're going to get to where you want, just like any other business. But you could really just fire everything up with AI tools and everything, get a bunch of, SEO stuff done, once or twice a week, get everything scheduled and good to go. And then from there, you just have the calls slowly but surely coming in. You have your auto review requests sent out. It's very easy to kind of automate everything from the pest control, marketing, and customer acquisition side of things. And then from there, it's just a matter of going out there and getting the service done and, creating a good reputation for yourself. I think it's a relatively easy business that I wouldn't say necessarily anyone could start. Obviously, if anyone could start, there wouldn't be no money in it at the end of the day. But it's an amazing industry with a lot of upside, like we're talking about in terms of actual profit margins that you can get. It's very easy for you to create a life for you and your family and your loved ones that you all deserve. For those of you that didn't even like follow my journey, you're new to me probably. We get a lot of you all coming in who are just seeing kind of where I'm at now. But just within the last 3 years, I mean, our life has transformed tremendously. And I'm not even like a huge company yet. We're at the 6-figure level. Again, for those of you that don't know my journey, I started my business in 2020, like I said, with right around $10,000. Took it from that, little bit of $10,000 to a 6-figure company my first year. And, the last 2.5 years, we've just kind of been slowly but surely grinding, getting set up to, have employees and have everything in place to take us to that next level of just massive expansion. But this business, even with me still being a solo operator, primarily I have some 1099 guys, but primarily, on my own, I've been able to retire my wife. She's a stay-at-home mom to our 2 wonderful kids. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. So it's an amazing business opportunity. It doesn't take as much risk. There's not nearly as much risk. Of course, there's risk in terms of you need to be doing everything the right way with the chemicals and all that type of stuff. Legally, you can get yourself in trouble, but in terms of financial risk, there's really not a lot of risk compared to a lot of other industries. And I just think it's an amazing business opportunity for those of you that think that maybe you want to hop into some sort of service business. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button. It lets me know you guys like this type of content. And of course, if you're new to me, like I said, feel free. I'll leave a playlist here at the end of the video that you guys can check out about just different pest control business videos that I put out. I talk about everything from marketing, customer acquisition, taxes, investing, reinvesting, just everything business related that could help, start and grow your pest control business. We talk about that. I have a specific playlist for that I'll leave here. And if you haven't already subscribed as well, make sure you subscribe. There should be a subscribe button either right below my face or maybe right beside it. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon as well, because I try to go live just about, at the minimum once or twice a week. I'm trying to slowly but surely start going live at least once a day briefly for you guys. And we have content pumping out almost every single day for you guys as well on top of that. And of course, lastly, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them down in the comments below. And if you're not already in our free Discord group chat or Facebook group, links for that are in my LinkTree down below. As always, I appreciate you all tuning in so much. It's amazing to see just how many people are looking to, change their family tree and, start a pest control business or any business for that matter. Even if you don't start a pest control business, let us, join you with your journey in terms of, we're all trying to work together just to create a network of like-minded people who want to just, change their family at the end of the day and just achieve financial freedom and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you all, like I said, for tuning in. Go ahead and join our groups. Totally free to join. I'll see you all in there. And like I said, drop a comment down below if you have one. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next one.